Okay. You're welcome. What's up, guys? It's your favorite girl, your favorite chef, B. Laurayne. Did you miss me? So it's been a minute because your girl been traveling. I've been enjoying life a little bit, okay? But I'm back and I got some good recipes for you guys. The first one we're gonna start with today is a plantain puree. And I think I might say it wrong because I always say plantains, but they tell me it's plantain. So I'm making a plantain puree. Okay, I did already boil the plantains so they can get soft and they, can function right for the puree. So we're gonna do that, and I'm going to make it a pink plantain puree. Okay, so I'm super excited about it. We're gonna do that along with coconut shrimp. So it's gonna be a coconut shrimp and plantain puree and I haven't decided on the sauce yet, but I have one in mind. So stick with me and you'll see. So we're going to get started with the plantain puree. We're going to cut open the plantains and we're going to add them to the blender, and then we're going to add them to the blender. I'm going to use a little bit of this honey that I got back from Greece. We're going to also use heavy whipping cream. So we're going to use these ingredients to make the puree, along with my favorite ingredient to make everything pink is obviously the dragon fruit. All right, so we're going to get started, and here we are. These just came out of the water, so they are a bit hot. Add them straight to the blender because you don't want them to get cold. Ooh, they burning my fingers, but it's okay. It took about 30-45 minutes to get nice and tender, enough for me to be able to peel and put in the blender. Made them nice and soft. We're gonna add a little bit of honey. This honey is so good. And I really want to be selfish with it because I got it from Greece and I can only get it in Greece. Okay. And I don't even believe that they ship out because I definitely asked them and they said no. Okay. I had a little bit of heavy whipping cream, and I'll add more based on the thickness and the consistency. Right now, I don't want it to be too runny, so I'm only going to add a little bit. And especially because I'm adding this dragon fruit, and because I'm adding the dragon fruit, is going to add a little bit more of a liquidy consistency to it. So I don't want it to be too liquidy, and we're not going to add a lot of the dragon fruit, just enough to know that it's there, because look at how deep pink this is. This is going to be perfect. I'm excited. One thing that I do enjoy when making any type of colored sauce or anything, I like to use more of a natural ingredient, because who wants a bunch of preservatives and all that good stuff? So I'm only going to use just a little bit, just a small amount. I may not even use this one. I'll go ahead and use that one. All right. And so now we're going to get this blended and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to start working on our coconut shrimp. So today we have the shrimp. I didn't get the shrimp with the head on it this time because they would have been a little bit smaller, and I didn't want smaller. I wanted big. Okay, so we got shrimp without the head. Y'all know I like shrimp with the head. However, it kind of would have been a little bit of a waste because the head is not even going near this dish. Although I probably could have used it as garnish, but nah. So what I want to do first is peel and devein these shrimp, and then we will start working on the batter. So to start peeling and deveining the shrimp, obviously we want to take these little, I always call them legs. I actually don't know if they're really legs or not. I'm assuming that they are, because shrimp actually crawl like that. So all the little legs. I do want to keep the tail intact. So I want to keep this still on the shrimp. So once I devein these, we are definitely going to wash them because ew. People always ask me what's my favorite thing to cook. And most recently, I feel like seafood, shrimp, lobster has been my favorite and my go tos. Especially if you look back at the content that I've been creating lately, it's been a lot of seafood content. And I feel like you can't go wrong with seafood. There's a lot of people that are allergic to seafood. And I'm just like, oh, I am so sad for you because you're missing some good stuff, especially those people that's nasty. Especially those people that get a seafood allergy later in life, you know? So thank God that I'm not allergic to seafood because what would I do? What would I eat? I really started eating a lot more seafood, even though I was raised on the East Coast and we definitely ate a lot of seafood. But I think in my most recent years is when I started eating seafood, really just like changing my eating habits and having a pescatarian diet. Obviously, seafood was number one on the list and just about the only thing. And then two, every once in a while I dab in being a vegetarian. I'll never be a vegan. A little bit of a vegetarian. They eat fish. So I guess we have arrived at being a pescatarian. So yeah. But really, I think I started eating a lot more seafood being on the West Coast because I had braces. So I had braces. I took my braces off in 2 years ago. So I took my braces off 2 years ago and I had them for 2 years. So when I started eating more seafood is when I had the braces because I could not eat a lot of like meat. So, I know it's a lot of rules around braces and I didn't want mine to break or pop or feel any of that. So I stayed away from the steak, the chicken wings, and stuff like that. So the more softer, palatable. Is that a word? Palatable foods, seafood. So yeah, here we are. So we've now I've already taken all of the shell off the shrimp. So I'm going to wash those, and I will be right back. Alrighty, I am back. This is the batter that we're using. So we're gonna go in these 3 steps. We're gonna take the shrimp that is clean, peeled, deveined. We're gonna dip it into the flour that I have used my seasoning in. Then we're gonna go into the egg wash and then into the coconut batter. Okay, so it's coconut. What I use for this is Baker's coconut. It is sweetened, so it's really, really good. I use this for my coconut cake. And when you use the tempura batter. So it's going to come out perfectly crisp, perfectly coconutty. All right. And then I'm just going to let it rest here while my oil gets hot. And then we're going to take it straight to the heat. Okay. So again, we're going to start with our shrimp, dredge it in the flour. And we want to keep the tail exposed. So we don't want to put any batter on the tail. Okay. Then we're going to dip it into the egg wash, right? And then we're going to take it over here to the coconut. Perfect. And then I'm going to let it rest right there. And we're going to do this until we have completed all of our shrimp. All right. So look at them. Amazing. All right. So we're going to set all of this to the side and I'll get my grease on. Well, while it's getting hot. And then I'll be right back. So I don't want too much oil. I just need the perfect amount of oil, just enough to kind of coat the bottom because we're just going to flip our shrimp from one side to the other. I don't want them to be deep fried. Grease is nice and hot. We're going to get these shrimp on. Perfect. Oh, hot me. Shrimp don't take that long to cook, so we're going to give it about a minute and a half on each side. Nice and golden, just how I want them. All right, moving from the heat. Okay, so now it's time to get everything plated up. So this is the plantain puree, and it's nice and pink. Isn't that cute? So I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. And some garnish that I made a little bit earlier today. Okay, let me tell y'all something. Y'all know one of the best chefs ever. Okay, you can never get better than this. Yes, look at that. That is so pretty. It's simple, it's pretty, it's elegant, it's elevated. It's all you need. I mean, what else could you ask for? This is a Caribbean inspired dish. What made me come up with this recipe? I went to St. Martin on vacation and I did not get any good food. Okay. I talked to some brothers on the flight back. They sat right beside me on the flight. And I was telling them that I'm so upset that I did not have an opportunity to eat any good food. And so one of the brothers was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that. I had some amazing food." And I'm like, "So sad for me, but wonderful for you." So he showed me a photo of a plantain puree and coconut shrimp. It didn't look quite like this. I actually think mine looked better. I wish I had tasted what he had so I could really get the flavor palette. However, I mean, I'm a chef. How could I get it wrong? Okay, so now it's time for the taste test. Let's check this out. Mm, mm. Oh, that's really good. That's really, really good. I like that. The plantain puree has a little sweetness to it. And then the crunchiness and it's not even sweet on the coconut, but the freshness of the coconut and the shrimp. This is fire. Oh, I definitely should have had this, but I made it at home. Okay. You're welcome.